Imagine a heavy steel coffee mug lifting off a workbench, hovering in mid-air in total silence. No rockets, no jet fuel, no exhaust. Dr. Edward V. built a working prototype that achieved exactly that. He solved the physics of anti-gravity. And then, on a crisp Monday morning, October 14, 1957, he left for a Pentagon briefing and never arrived. By noon, state police found his 1954 Ford sedan parked cleanly on the shoulder of Route 4. The engine was cold, but the keys were left in the ignition. His briefcase, carrying the non-classified notes for his briefing, sat completely untouched on the passenger seat. When his frantic wife drove to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for answers, two men in civilian suits stopped her at the gate. They handed her a box of his desk items, coldly informed her that her husband had resigned due to mental exhaustion, and advised her to stop asking questions. Within weeks, his university transcripts were systematically altered to show a degree in civil engineering instead of advanced physics. The military swallowed his patent applications under a federal Invention Secrecy Order, legally ensuring they would never see the light of day. The government enacted a total historical erasure. A physicist who could demonstrate limitless, fuel-free propulsion threatened the global economy, so they scrubbed his name from existence. Mainstream physics relies on brute force. To go up, you have to push down, burning massive amounts of highly volatile chemical fuel to fight Earth's gravitational pull. Look closely at the experimental hardware sitting in front of rogue physicist Dr. Thomas Townsend Brown in this photograph. While his peers focused entirely on quantum mechanics, Brown hypothesized that gravity was a secondary effect of something we already controlled: electromagnetism. Charge a specialized capacitor with thousands of volts, and it generates physical thrust toward the positive electrode. Critics blamed air ionization, so Brown placed the setup in a hard vacuum. With zero air, the upward thrust remained constant. Mainstream academic journals dismissed this anomaly, but behind closed doors, the military-industrial complex realized that a vehicle coupling electricity directly to gravity could accelerate instantly in total silence. This is where the mathematical prodigy known only as Edward V entered the picture. He took Brown's raw anomalous data and unified it into a flawless field physics equation. Edward realized that static electrical charges were insufficient for true levitation. To completely nullify gravity, he needed to rotate high-energy electromagnetic fields at relativistic speeds. A heavy mass on a 3D wireframe creates a deep dip. That's gravity. By spinning plasma at hyper frequencies, Edward's equation pinched the grid in front of the craft. As the grid warps, space itself pulls the craft forward. In the summer of 1957, deep inside Wright-Patterson, Edward applied high-frequency current to a hubcap-sized metallic disc. Suddenly, it radiated a faint violet luminescence and lifted off the steel table, sitting completely weightless in the air. Edward envisioned boundless, peaceful space exploration. The generals standing in the back of the room, however, saw an unstoppable, uninterceptable delivery system for nuclear weapons. Immediately following Edward's disappearance, the entire aerospace industry went dark. Massive defense contractors abruptly dismantled their heavily funded gravity research divisions, reassigning top engineers in absolute secrecy. Leaked internal documents point to three possible fates for Edward. The first is forced conscription. Under threat of federal imprisonment, he was given a fabricated identity to build classified technology exclusively for the United States government. This schematic of the modern B-2 stealth bomber provides a crucial piece of evidence. Aviation experts have long noted that the leading edges of the B-2's wings are highly charged with static electricity, creating an exact replica of the electrogravitic lift Edward pioneered. The second theory is corporate liquidation. Edward refused to let his clean energy device become a weapon. In the cold calculus of national security, an uncooperative genius holding the ultimate propulsion secret is a catastrophic liability that must be eliminated. A third theory survives in a single notebook entry his wife managed to hide from the men in suits. Below a mathematical proof regarding extreme space-time distortion, Edward had written a chilling conclusion. He calculated that by pinching space tight enough to move without mass, the machine was no longer confined to a single point in time. He wrote, "The field does not just reject gravity, it rejects time." The disappearance of Edward V cost more than a single life. It ensured we remained reliant on fossil fuels and chemical rockets, while a cleaner, faster reality stayed locked in a subterranean vault. What do you think really happened on Route 4? Let me know in the comments, and click the video on screen to uncover more classified energy systems they desperately want hidden.